Really love the short film. Congratulations on that. Super
Thanks
excited.
very much.
Yeah, and you've had a year. Oppenheimer, Fair Play, there's Bears on Cocaine. Are you okay?
Right. Am I okay? That's a good question. I don't really know. Um, Doing the best I can. No, it's been great. I did more films in a row than I've done probably in my whole career in 22. And so this year is when they all came out. But the Marvel series I did was originally actually going to come out this year too, so it was going to be even crazier. It's probably good that that didn't happen. But yeah, it's been really nice to with each of these just get to put work out and have people see it and do that whole thing.
Yeah, that's awesome. And so you were Han Solo and you're in a Marvel series going.
Yep. Yep.
Oh, that's amazing. And so much fun. So tell us a bit about how this short came to come to fruition. Like what inspired it? And what was the writing process?
Um, yeah, I worked on a story about brothers for a really long time. And then basically, um, you know, I had like a few different ideas and I was kind of, spending a lot of time hitting my head against a wall trying to like figure out how to make these things work for this longer for a feature piece. And and then um and then I just like had a couple some of the ideas I'd had this idea about maybe like a nanny who was approached by the paparazzi, and a moral dilemma for her with the family she worked for. Um, and then when I kind of realized that the story I was writing about brothers could combine with that, it like this like chemical reaction happened, and I started hearing like the conversation between the two brothers that ended up being the conversation where Cole asked Jacob for money. And what I found was it felt very much in a kind of uncanny way that they were real and that they were like that there was kind of a world there and that I just needed to like transcribe it. And so I had this experience that I've never had where I wrote it all in like a few days after having worked on like this other piece for at least a year, if not longer. And then revised it and worked on it for a long time. But that was the genesis of it.
Love that. And so they just kind of came alive in your brain and you just couldn't stop it.
Yeah, yeah, it felt more like I was sort of transcribing like a story that I was being told than having to pre-configure and make something up. And there were like callbacks and things like with the jacket or the relationship with the dad, like things just kind of unfolded in a way that felt, yeah, very, very lucky. And then, as I work on other things, you're just kind of waiting and hoping that that you're gifted with the same kind of clarity on things, but that seems very out of my hands. And so you just try to like stay in a way of moving through life that makes you more available as possible to that. But whether that kind of thing happens is out of our hands, is what it feels like.
Yeah. No, I totally understand that. So someone I know says often that this industry, that your network is kind of your currency, like who you know. Do you feel that that played it all into like helping you make the film?
Oh, sure. Yeah, definitely. I mean, I was afforded certain I did a movie for Warren Beatty who I think he was quoting Jodie Foster had said this, that the most valuable thing about fame is access. And so I, because of my acting career, had access to, I could get people to be interested in this that I would not otherwise be interested if I was just a filmmaker beginning. So very lucky in that respect. That the last 20, I don't know, 17 years of acting has put me in a position where I'm able to like uh move into filmmaking with more opportunities. Really, really a huge benefit. Yeah.
And I heard that you had Francis Ford Coppola like read the script.
Yeah. Yeah,
I mean,
he's
just
yeah.
work.
Yeah, he put me in my first film, and he's been, a mentor of mine since I was a kid, and he's just been extremely generous to me personally, and then also just sort of being in his presence and his aura, especially like starting at such an impressionable age. He's just the most inspiring to this day, like really the most inspiring. His attitude and approach towards work and art is incredibly inspiring.
Yeah. Were there any films in particular that inspired this, like the direction of the short film, or anything that you pulled from?
Yeah, we looked at a few different things. Um Looked at Rachel getting married. There were like different aspects for different things. Rachel getting married is a film I always loved a lot, and one of the things I thought it did so well was like you really believed the family and the dynamics and the history, and you felt he like really created an ensemble, and I really wanted in a more limited amount of time to make it feel like you're entering when you enter in this world, you're entering into a world of a real family. And so we did improvisations for 4 days with the main actors of Lisa and Nick Robinson, Nick Searcy, family dinners and arguments and backstory. And I'm a kid and Jacob's a kid, and I'm telling him about how I'm going to be a famous musician one day, just kind of layering this in. But we also did it with all the background, the kind of ensemble family, where each couple you see who's even just in the back, we do like the first moment they met and kind of get everybody, involved with each other in a way, and get into, I just had a family event recently, and this person has this relationship to this person and has no relationship to that person. There's 1,000 different dynamics going on, and you just can't, if you throw a bunch of actors into an environment and go, okay, you can't shortcut that. So it was an attempt at approximating that as best we could.
That sounds so fun.
It was
Um,
great. It
yeah.
was great. It was the best. Yeah, that part of it was my favorite.
And I love that callback. I love the dishwasher scene in that movie.
Oh yeah. Yeah, me too. Yeah, that's fantastic. Oh, so other movies was Punch Drunk Love we looked at, sort of like the scene where Adam Sandler goes and there's all the different sisters, and kind of the way framing wise he's framed in that movie and moves through space. We looked at that movie called Krisha, which
Oh, it's
is,
good. Yeah.
yeah, really great film. I loved that for a long time. And the tension of that and kind of the way he uses family in that's a really brilliant movie. I looked at Ordinary People, is kind of an exaggerated version of, it's one of my favorite movies ever. But like an exaggerated, a more dramatic version of really for the Jacob character, what he's going through. That movie depicts sort of mental fragility or emotional psychiatric, whatever you want to call it, like anxiety better than any movie I've seen. So
No, that's a fantastic. Those are all fantastic, and I can see the inspiration from them all too, which is lovely.
yeah, yeah,
Um,
good.
so obviously Oppenheimer's getting a lot of probably awards buzz
Ah,
this year.
right.
I think that's kind of known. But I'm just wondering, is there a movie that you saw this year that you love that you'd love to give a
Oh,
shout out to that should get more attention?
I'm such a bad film goer. I really need to get better at it, but it's like
Totally
turned
agree.
into something where like I just want to I like think of and do all this stuff and enjoy it so much during the day, but then at night it's like kind of the last thing I want to do is watch a movie, so don't end up seeing anything. But like uh I think the only film that I think hasn't that I that that I saw that I feel that way is Passages, which is the Ira Sachs movie. Um, I just loved like that it was, you watch that and it's just so honest and it's just so like smart and honest, truthful. Like the performances are truthful, the characters are, the situations they're in, the dynamics are interesting, but there's not all this gloss and shellacking, and like every other movie that I've seen this year just has so much crap in it. It's just not like there's just so much on it. And even movies I liked just feel like they're just there's this whole other sort of movie thing to it. And then so it was just really nice to see a move. Typically we get those films from other countries a lot that are kind of that simple and human and truthful. But it was really nice to see a film that it's kind of an international film, but it's an American filmmaker and they're speaking English to see something that spare and truthful. It was so refreshing as an actor. And what I really feel is that like there's so many actors in my generation who are so great that haven't gotten to be in a movie like that for us to be able to see how great they are, like um Ben Whishaw has been great in so many things, and he's just like someone that I am a huge admirer of and just love watching him on screen so much. I just think he's gorgeous to watch on screen. He's so moving and his performances he's just such a fantastic actor. So
That
it
was a
was
great
just the spirit of yeah. Anyway,
Yeah. So you at least saw you had an answer. That's what's important.
I had an answer.
No, I
Yeah.
think that was a great one. I love that movie. It's very authentic. It really does.
Yeah.
I feel it speaks to it.
What's your favorite of the year so far if I haven't seen it?
Um, it's a movie called Monster. I don't
Oh,
know if
I don't even
you
know
pronounce
about it.
it. That is a foreign film.
Great.
And I do agree that that often happens. I also would put Passages probably in my top 15. I have a very hard time ever saying one movie.
Yeah,
So,
sure.
like when someone asks me my favorite movie, I'm like, I don't know, how much time do you have? Like
Yeah. Yeah.
it's impossible for me. But it's kind of like how you talked about your film and you drew from all these different things and all these terrific movies. And that's kind of the beauty of being a filmmaker, I think. And I know, time just is flying by, but I'll try to wrap it
I'm
up.
okay. I don't have a super hard out if you want to go a little over. Yeah.
All right, thank you. So I'm just wondering, is writing and directing a huge passion of yours? Is that something you'd wanted to do for a while? And do you feel like is that going forward something you're going to strive to do more?
Yeah, I mean, where I'm at is when I get to go act in something for like I've gotten insanely lucky with the filmmakers I've gotten to work with for. And when I go and work for somebody like a Nolan, um, or the Coens or Coppola or whatever, like it's the most incredible experience to be able to fully give myself to somebody as an actor and just trust them that much and have that experience. I just love it so much. Um, but frankly, to be an actor, you have to work sort of now a lot, because there's such a huge amount of stuff that to sustain your career means working a lot, and not that many of those jobs exist. So that's one factor. But the more real thing, the thing that is more true is that like I just feel this at this point. This is where my passion really is. When there's a great role, great filmmaker, I still feel passionate about it as an actor. But for the most part, my passion is really in the vicinity of um, writing and directing and acting and things, and trying to experiment with acting a little bit inside of that, and being a part of stories that are more directly meaningful to me in a more direct and kind of immediate way. So I see myself doing that at least equally, if not more so, over the next year. So now I'm just fighting for the time to finish the writing process on the feature film. And then I have a theater space called the Huron Station Playhouse that is on the east side that we're putting together to do our first play in the beginning of next year. And it's an old trolley station from 1906, like this beautiful brick building, and the goal is for my life as a filmmaker and whatever I'm doing to sort of exist in a context with other artists where we can work a little bit more independently and a little bit support each other to kind of stay truer to the thing that we're actually interested in and insulate ourselves from the pressures of the industry, or kind of build some community support, have a few things going on there, readings and dinners and movie nights, and then 3 or 4 plays a year. So yeah, that's where the ship is. I'm trying to steer the ship right now.
No, that's wonderful. That's really incredible. It sounds like you're still very busy, but
Yeah.
that's lovely. You mentioned so many directors. You really have, worked with some of the best. Is there a director that you'd love to work with that you haven't?
Spielberg. Yeah. I mean,
Okay,
Spielberg and Scorsese and PTA.
right. You didn't
That's
even
really,
think that was just like instant.
yeah, yeah, exactly. I mean, Spielberg started my career. He like saw me in a video when I was like 14.
Oh wow.
In a video I made it for like my friend's bat mitzvah, and he thought I was funny in this video, and that's how I got an agent originally. Um, and he's been, very supportive and very generous over the years. So getting to work with him has like an added meaning. And then, and then Scorsese and PTA. It's just like for obvious reasons.
For obvious reasons we don't need to go into,
Yeah,
because they're just amazing. Awesome.
exactly.
So is there any hope in the galaxy for a return to Han Solo?
I think they do so much different stuff. Like things happen in that world that you never would have imagined happening. So like, who knows? Um, and if the really right shape of it came along, that I would be, interested in that, but we'll see.
Last thing. So what do you have coming up that we can look forward to seeing, after this entirely crazy year of yours?
Yeah. Well, I've blown my load. I mean, it's all out there now. It's Ironheart is the only thing I've shot that hasn't come out yet, so that'll come out sometime. And then I'm doing a film right now that I can't exactly say, but in like a week I could, so I don't know when this comes out, but uh and then the first play is gonna happen in March. Um and then really Shadow Brother Sunday. I mean, so like we're putting this out, um, doing all the festival stuff right now and press, and then my goal, my dream for the film is to release it as a film in some way. So whether that's on a streaming service or do press for it like this and really just put it out there, like in the music industry, they'll put out like a single, like it's with a lot of fanfare as if it's an album sometimes. So kind of in the same spirit, just be like, this is a film, it's 15 minutes long, and put it out there as soon as we can. We have to wait until we do all the, there's like rules and stuff that are beyond my pay grade, but yeah.
Of course. Yeah, no, it was one of my favorites, shorts I've seen in a while. We did
Oh,
cover it on the site as well. Um,
thanks so much.
I reviewed it actually. So yeah, it was really, really great. So thank you so much for this. This was a really fun conversation. It was wonderful to meet
Yeah,
you.
lovely to
Um,
meet you too.
yeah, and I'm just congratulations. I know that I'm sure it's been a lot, but I'm sure you also are still in for quite a bit more with
Yeah,
with like festivals and awards and all that. But just enjoy it, and I
thank you.
can't wait to see your Spielberg collaboration, because
Yeah, me
putting
too.
it out
From your
there.
God's ears. Yeah, exactly. Oh, you have an ET poster I see right now as
Yeah,
we
I
say that.
actually have an ET poster, and I have a signed ET photo from D. Wallace, and yeah, I'm a slight ET fan.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. It's
Yeah,
also amazing they didn't do a sequel. It's very impressive that they didn't do that.
yeah, it is. It's one of those films that I loved when I was a child, and every time I watch it, it brings me back to the exact same feeling I had when I was a kid and I saw it.
Yeah, totally.
That's rare.
Totally.
Yeah,
Yeah, they did. Are you in Los Angeles?
I'm actually on the East Coast, so
Oh, okay. Well, at the Hollywood Bowl, occasionally they'll do like the film with a live orchestra at the
oh yeah,
Hollywood Bowl. Really magnificent. That's the last time I saw it. It was just gorgeous. Yeah.
I need to see that. That's on the bucket list next time they do it.
Yeah.
Thank you and happy holidays.
Thank you. You too. Have a great holiday season.
Yeah, and hope you have the great rest of your day.